You're listening to Soap Dirt, the latest in television entertainment news.
Hey there, Y&R fans. We have got to talk about Phyllis Summers and how far her obsession will go. And by obsession, I mean the one she has about cricket, not necessarily Danny. This is Belinda from Soap Dirt, and I want to discuss whether Phyllis is going to go completely unhinged and do something bad to the bug. But first, if you haven't, please click subscribe. All right, let's talk about all this. So on Tuesday, Phyllis Summers put on sexy underwear under a trench coat and met Danny Romalotti in the Jazz Lounge and proceeded to act, to me, what was just like a total skeevy skank. She wasn't just flashing a peep or just a bra strap. She was half stripping off in the lounge, acting tragically desperate. And that came after she prodded Danny to play her that song he wrote. He didn't write it for her, but he said she helped inspire him to finish it. That was a huge, actually, he's not even done with it. He should never have told her that. And then she posted online. He called her out for it, but she just didn't stop. She was talking crazy about how Christine is obsessed with him. After Danny said Phyllis is playing her usual games, posting that video to make it look like they're dating when they're not and won't be. Phyllis has such a skewed vision of how things are. She went on ranting about Christine being threatened by her and jealous of her. And Danny called her out for twisting reality because everything she's saying about Christine is actually what's going through Phyllis's crazy brain. But Phyllis seems so convinced that Danny really wants her. But what's not helping is Danny letting her stick her tongue in his mouth, and then he returns the favor. He is, in a way, sending mixed messages. But this week, everything changes. After Christine sees him kissing Phyllis, she confronts him. She tells him, I think you're into being in the middle, but I'm not going to go down that road. No way. No three-way triangle for me. She tells Danny to choose and said, if it's Phyllis, that's fine with me. It's crazy, but go ahead if that's what you want. But pick a horse and ride it. He insists he wants Christine, but she tells him she saw the kiss, and that tells her something different. So Phyllis is, of course, lurking around, asking what's bugging the bug after Christine leaves. Danny loses it and says, that's it, no more. We are done. He said that Phyllis blew up things between him and Christine, and he's not going to have this anymore. That they are going to be barely friends, nothing more. He doesn't want to hear from her. So yeah, the bug was prodding and provoking Phyllis, talking about her and Danny's romantic trip. But then again, she and Danny are dating and he and Phyllis are not. So it's up to Christine if she wants to brag. I mean, yes, she's poking the bear, and I do think Cricket's kind of dumb for provoking Phyllis this way. I mean, she has made it clear that she does not think that Phyllis is reformed or a better person. So why would you provoke somebody that you know has such a scary history? Has Christine forgotten what Phyllis did to her in the past? Why would you poke a psycho like that when they're coming unhinged? As Phyllis and Danny talked, she kept on saying, you're conflicted. I know you really want me, until he ends up storming out. I do expect he is no longer conflicted. I think he is going to spurn Phyllis, refuse to see her, only let her near him if there's a third-party buffer in the room, and isn't going to let her within arm's length of him so she can't put her hands or her tongue on him again. But at the same time, I don't think Phyllis is going to accept this. I think she is going to come completely unglued. All right, so now let's shift gears and talk about 5 things I think Phyllis may do once she comes unglued, because she seems on the precipice of going nuts. So the first thing, Phyllis might drug and rape Danny again. I've talked about this before because that is their actual history. I'm not exaggerating. I'm not, puffing it up to be bigger than what it is. That's what she did. I mean, it's plain to see Danny is tempted by Phyllis in a sexual way. She's got a great body, all that. That's great. But I think that's it. I think from the waist down, Danny is into her. Everything else, he's not. He's just got a visceral reaction to her in kind of a horny schoolboy throwaway way, but he doesn't love her. He's never loved her. So Phyllis maybe thinks she needs to remind him of how good they can be in the bedroom. You know, maybe she assumes if they sleep together, he'll want her to be around all the time. Of course, Danny doesn't seem willing to let her into his bed. So I just wonder if she's willing to go there. She's drugged and raped him before. Maybe she'll do it again and just think, oh, you know, once he wakes up, he'll be like, oh, that was great. The second thing is Phyllis might wreck Christine's apartment or her office. I'm not sure where Christine lives these days because they only show the ranch, a couple of apartments, the Jabot house, and then rooms at the GCAC. But I feel like Red might do to the bug what she did to Sharon in the past. Do you remember when Nick slept with Sharon while he was married to Phyllis? I mean, to be fair, Phyllis had boned him plenty of times when he was married to Sharon, so it was kind of karmic, but Phyllis freaked out when she found out that he slept with Sharon. She went to Sharon's hotel room, had a screaming tantrum fit, and cut up all of Sharon's clothes. I could see Phyllis doing something like this and trashing Christine's place in a rage over Danny choosing cricket over her. The third thing, she might try and ruin Christine's career. You know, these days, Phyllis is a pretty talented hacker, so she might put those skills to work to mess with Cricket. She could hack into her work emails, do something to her law firm's website. Christine's not DA anymore, so she's in private practice. That means a website, it means office, it means clients. Phyllis could try and ruin her reputation with crazy reviews, posting something inappropriate on her website, leaking private client info so they think Christine did it. I could totally see Phyllis doing something like this because she's done similar things in the past. Number 4, Phyllis could engage in basic harassment. She could just try and ruin things for Danny and Cricket as a couple. She could find out where they have dinner reservations, cancel them. If they plan a trip again, she could cancel their hotel reservations, mess up their flights, just other things she can do using her hacking and her other sneaky skills. Really, Phyllis could just make things hard so that their romantic outings never work out without them really knowing whether it's Phyllis messing with them or not. But the last scenario I have for you is much more dastardly, but I could see it happening if Phyllis Summers comes completely unglued. Number 5, Phyllis may finish what she started. Do you remember when she tried to run down Christine with her car? Way back in the day, I'm reaching way back. This was after Phyllis lied and said Danny got her pregnant after raping him. She got him to marry her. But Christine was actually gathering evidence to prove that Phyllis lied about everything and she was digging up dirt on her. So Phyllis decided way back then that Christine was the only reason that Danny wasn't falling in love with her. So she thought, the bug needs to die. Phyllis rented a car, then she took aim, intending to run Cricket over, but Paul saw the car coming. He knocked Christine out of the way. He was seriously injured. Phyllis drove off and got away with it for like 12 years or something, like a crazy long time. Many years later, the truth came out. Everybody was horrified. She tried to claim it was an accident and that she was just going to scare Christine, yada, yada, yada. Christine tried to prosecute when it all came out, but the statute of limitations had expired by then. And since Phyllis got away with it before, maybe she thinks she can get away with it again, but finish what she started this time. Just the question, how far will Phyllis go to keep Danny from being with Christine is what is making me think all kinds of things right now. I've said this before, but it bears repeating. I do think Phyllis has some lingering fixation on Danny Romalotti, but I think Phyllis's primary motivation is one-upping Christine Williams. She doesn't want Christine to have him or anything that she wants. I think she hates Christine more than she desires Danny. I don't think Phyllis loves Danny. You know, she's just crazy in the head about him. In the end, you know, Phyllis could hurt Danny thinking if I can't have him, no one can, or she could hurt Christine. That's kind of what I'm leaning towards now. We'll see how it goes, but I do think Phyllis is coming unglued, and it'll get worse when she sees that Danny is serious about cutting her out of his life and keeping Christine in it. Hey, drop your comments. Let me know what you think about all this. Definitely click subscribe if you haven't already, and come back soon because we are here talking Young and the Restless 7 days a week. And as always, I am Belinda from Soap Dirt.
Thank you for being a loyal listener. Follow us wherever you get your podcast because you don't want to miss the next episode. Soap Dirt is on all the major podcast platforms, including Apple Podcast, Spotify, iHeartRadio, and more.